Okay, let's talk about something that's going to feel a little too close to home. We're going to unpack a story that takes one of the most normal things we do, ordering food, and twists it into something, well, something genuinely terrifying. We'll see how a simple delivery notification became the front for a massive criminal operation. So picture this. It all starts with something we've all done a million times. You're home, you're hungry, you pull out your phone, you tap a few buttons, and you order some food. It's so routine, you barely even have to think about it. And then you see this. That familiar ping on your phone. A friendly face pops up, you see a name, and that little car icon starts moving across the map, getting closer to you. It's basically a digital handshake, right? It's the app telling you, don't worry, help is on the way. But what if it's not actually help that's on the way? All right, so this is where things get really weird. Let's talk about the impossible driver. So you look at your phone and everything checks out. You see the driver's name, a nice smiling photo, and that little red car icon is definitely heading your way. To anyone looking at their screen, it's just another Tuesday night delivery. Totally normal. And here is the billion-dollar question, the one that had investigators absolutely stumped. The digital breadcrumbs showed this one driver with this exact same profile making deliveries in places that were hundreds, sometimes thousands of miles apart, often within the same hour. It just wasn't possible. So how on earth did the police figure this out? Well, it didn't start with a cybercrime unit. It started with a series of very real, very physical crimes. Let's look at how they started connecting the dots. So back in early 2025, you've got police departments in Texas, Ohio, and Arizona all getting reports of these home robberies. On the surface, they looked completely random, but they all shared one bizarre detail. Every single crime happened just minutes after the victim got a food delivery. And then you get that classic movie moment. One detective in Houston gets a gut feeling that this little detail is way too much of a coincidence. So he starts digging, comparing notes, and realizes, oh no, this isn't a coincidence at all. It's a pattern. And when they looked closer, boom, they found the common link. Every single victim had used the same delivery app. And even crazier, they all had the same driver. The same name, the same profile photo, and they even had Ring doorbell footage to prove it. It all matched, across state lines, across different time zones. They had found their ghost. And get this, the app's own GPS data is what blows the whole thing wide open. It shows the delivery marked complete in Texas at 6:12 p.m. Then, just 35 minutes later at 6:47, another one is finished in Ohio. I mean, come on, that's not a person driving a car. That's an account that seems to teleport. So if the driver wasn't real, how did this scam actually work? This is fascinating and pretty chilling. Let's break down the anatomy of how they pulled this off. The whole deception starts right here with the profile. What you see is this friendly, harmless-looking driver with great ratings. But the reality, it's a total fabrication. That face isn't even a real person. It's a synthetic image created by an AI, specifically designed to look trustworthy and completely forgettable. And it was all attached to a stolen identity. So here's the playbook. First, the criminals create that fake driver profile. Step 2, they accept your order, but they're not there to bring you food. They're using the delivery as an excuse to survey your house, checking for cameras, weak spots, anything of value. Step 3, they mark the food as delivered. The food might not even exist. Meanwhile, a spotter is already in position. And step 4, that spotter gives the green light to a nearby robbery team who move in just minutes later. And don't think this was some small-time thing. By mid-2026, the authorities had connected at least 23 separate robberies back to this one cluster of ghost accounts. This was an organized, effective, and pretty widespread operation. So what about the delivery apps, right? You'd think they'd be blasting out warnings to their users. But no. Behind the scenes, they quietly started updating their driver verification systems. But to the public, not a peep. No push notifications, no warnings. For the most part, customers were left completely in the dark. And that brings us to the real heart of this thing. Because this scam, at its core, wasn't really about a technological failure. It was about a human one. This whole thing was built from the ground up to exploit our trust. You've probably heard this term before, social engineering, and it's so important here. This wasn't about clever hackers breaking through a firewall or finding a bug in the code. Nope, this was a psychological attack. They didn't hack the system, they hacked the person using it. And why was it so devastatingly effective? Because of a simple, powerful belief that we all share. If the app says they're real, they must be. We've been trained to trust what our screens tell us. The criminals knew this. They didn't have to break the app. They just had to weaponize the trust we already place in the app. So, what's the takeaway here? What can you actually do? Law enforcement put out some really simple but crucial advice. Lock your doors even when you're just waiting for food. Check your cameras before you open up. And this is the big one. Treat every delivery person like a stranger, not just a service. That digital familiarity on your screen, it doesn't equal real-world safety. And I think one of the lead detectives on the case just put it perfectly. He said, the scariest thing about this case isn't that the driver wasn't real, it's that everyone trusted him anyway. The real vulnerability wasn't in the software on our phones, but in the wiring of our own brains. And it leaves you with a pretty unsettling question. In a world full of AI faces and ghost profiles, who are we really letting up to our front door?